I'm glad they're taking that thing seriously. I really am glad that they're taking it seriously. Because that fraud in Minnesota was an absolute shit show. Nick Shirley, re- utmost respect to you. Glad you did it. And most respect for sitting here in the courtroom. Yeah, not courtroom, Congress. Like he was invited to Congress, the committee, to share his perspective and insight on why he did it, what he did it, and committee is eager to use that video to investigate further fraud allegations inside of Congress and whatsoever. So if you like what I have to say, if you like my style of videos, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification. It would really mean the world to me. And if not, to each their own.
Testimony today and the work that you've done. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Shirley, thank you for your testimony today and the work that you've done. You know, Americans hear these numbers of the fraud that we have, and you know, whether it's 10,000 or 10 million or 10 billion, sometimes the numbers, you almost become desensitized to it. And so the way that your video was able to show people the fraud sort of in real life actually happening, I think opened a lot of eyes and has helped to catalyze a level of scrutiny that we really should have had before. So you mentioned in your testimony that you think that what you discovered in Minnesota, that this is not isolated to that state, but likely exists in other parts of the country as well, correct?
Correct.
I believe it too. I believe it too. I mean, like, if there's one, this doesn't, right? Oh, look, boys, I sit here and people always hate on Trump, right? Constantly. They find a reason. Even now at WEF, World Economic Forum is right. It's being held right now in Switzerland, Davos up there. And I always think to myself, like, why they hate him so much? Yeah, he does dumb shit. Sure. Try to do it better then, first of all. Second of all, he was in a literal competition with Kamala Harris, the other guy who was running for, what is he called? Tim Walz, vice president. You guys almost voted for them. It turned out he's the head of that fraud allegation and the Somalian thing in Minnesota with the daycares. He fumbled the bag, bro. He uncovered it. Pay that man some respect, bro.
What makes you think that?
Well, now you're seeing, since I've posted that video, lots of other people have started to go to other locations, for instance, in Ohio or in Maine or in California. They're also seeing the similar fraud take place in other daycares, for instance, in a lot of other locations.
Yeah, I have a particular interest in California, being from that state, and we know that there's been a lot of fraud. There was $32.6 billion that's been confirmed in unemployment insurance fraud. There's 1.2 million fraud.
Yeah, the last mayor of Los Angeles, the one who was geeking and tweaking in front of the interior when the house was burned down last year, like New Year 2025. That guy was an absolute corrupt piece of shit, and I don't know how people can empower such individuals. Like, how do they even get to that position? They don't know nothing. It's all about the inner circle. It's a club and we ain't in it. Honestly, not even quite sure if something is being done about the situation in Minnesota. Can't tell.
Community college applications. Have you gotten any sense, or have you seen any signs there that sort of are similar to what aroused your suspicions in Minnesota?
Yeah, and fraud in California might be worse than the fraud in Minnesota.
What makes you say that?
Well, $24 billion went missing for homelessness. They've been trying to build this train for years, yet there's hardly anything to prove for that. Fires.
Yeah, those are good points. So you look at let's run through a couple of those. Because I mentioned the areas where we have confirmed fraud, but then you also have these areas where you have so much spending, and then we look at what results from that spending, and there's nothing. So $24 billion in homelessness, and yet the homeless population went up, and a state audit found that they couldn't even figure out where the money went or what the...
That's absolutely right. How can that even happen? How could that even happen? And these are the same people who put homeless people in jail for stealing. So what does this tell you? It's all a business. It's all meant to be. How can that even happen? You get grilled by your superior if something bad happens, and the leader of a country, they let it happen. Of course, it's corruption. These are cancerous aspects. These are cancerous people. Some of them needs to be eradicated, like absolutely evicted and put out of position of power, because that this even happens is mind blowing to me. I can't comprehend it on such levels. I've seen the homelessness in Los Angeles. I was there. I mean, like it was 10 years ago by now, but still, bro. I mean, out of all, nah, man. Nah, man. How can that even happen?
outcomes linked to that spending were. Is that something that is kind of a red flag for you?
Yeah, it's a major red flag.
Should
and
be.
You don't even have to be
Should
smart
be for everyone.
to know that that's a red
Yeah.
flag.
Well, unfortunately, our state
Thank you,
legislators
Nick.
haven't managed
Thank
to
you,
figure
Nick.
that out, or at least the governor hasn't. So what are you saying?
What are you saying? I say, put my word in the internet. The governor of California is dumb. Yes, of course. It's a plot. It's a plot. It's meant to be dumb or not. You can't tell. It could be really fucking intelligent and just drive your country or your county off the cliff. So what are you saying?
About him.
They're not smart. No, but yeah, I mean, it's so
No, they're not. No, they're not. It's obvious.
obvious, and that's what we saw in Minnesota is how complicit the government has been in enabling this fraud to happen.
Yeah.
Faulty Learning
Thank
Center
you.
had over 90 violations, yet they continue to give that daycare $1.9 million.
Yeah, that's a great point. That there's the political accountability just...
He was like, yeah, that's a great point. The guy knows too much. Protect Nick Shirley, bro. Tim Walz and these people. I don't get it. And you guys almost voted for him to be the vice president. Trump is backed by the same party too. He does a lot of better stuff. And people are so ignorant because they hear Trump speak and they all shut down. He's right. Like some of that shit needs to be dealt with immediately.
That's what enables it to continue. So then you mentioned the high-speed rail as well. So there has been about $18 billion spent so far. No track has been laid, and not a single passenger has ridden the train. So when you spend $18 billion on a train and there's no train, does that raise suspicions for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you think that might be something worth looking at?
For sure.
We also had a $650 million 911 service that they scrapped after 6 years, so absolutely no value from it. Maybe that's another example where there might at least be questions.
I think you got a lot in California.
All right.
California is a dump. It turned into a dump. Especially when the movies weren't doing that great. I mean, like the movie industry isn't that what it used to be. So they gotta make money. But I'm not what is it called? Conspiracy. Like I'm not going to that department now.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing what you find. We're certainly trying to use whatever tools we have here to bring more accountability in California as well. Mr. Dexter, I wanted to also ask you a couple of questions.
These people, like they teach us from small on. You should be held accountable if you do something wrong. Stand up and man up, right? These people run from accountability. Every one of them, even Trump. Everybody runs from accountability. But the average Joe, as a citizen, you do something wrong, for example, something small, a misdemeanor, nobody notices it. The government and people expect you to come clean and be honest. But they do it on the highest level. It's absolutely derogatory, and it's hypocrisy, hypocritical.
About your work, because you have extensive experience on the law enforcement side trying to detect fraud. That's actually how in California we discovered the EDD fraud, the unemployment fraud, is it wasn't the state suddenly figuring it out. It was district attorneys who came together and investigated and in fact pointed to the fact that the state had let this happen and failed to heed their warnings and hadn't taken basic fraud detection steps. So is this something that you encounter? Like, what kind of internal controls make it so fraud is more difficult, and what type of lack of internal controls make it so fraud is easier?
Well, I would say the biggest thing was the fact that when we tried to investigate this, once we started bringing cases forward, and it showed that the number of centers that we investigated were Somali, the biggest roadblock was the fact that they didn't want to follow through on these cases. They shut down investigations. They
shut
made
everyone
us,
down.
In light of the report from
this shouldn't
this
happen
outside
at all.
management firm, we spent nearly
the whole
a
world
year
laughs at you
pulled
for
away
that one.
from our
US,
investigations, because one of the
you're
things
a
they
laughing
determined
stock
was
for
that
that one.
when our unit started,
But
we
at
didn't
least
have
you're
a proper
cleaning it
case
up.
management
At
system
least you're cleaning it
for
up. You try to.
recording and
Or
keeping
you
track
give the
of the
impression
tips.
you're trying to.
So as investigators, we instead had to spend nearly a year entering past complaints made to DHS into a newly created database. We couldn't do our investigations.
All I hear are excuses. Fuck that guy. I mean, you guys have to deal with that as your taxpayers. I feel bad for you guys. Yeah, they've been doing it for the past 20, 30, 40 years probably, yeah. Yeah. It's unreal. He needs a bodyguard? Bro. Yeah. He needs mercenaries as bodyguards. Yeah. The world is laughing at you for that one. But at least, yeah, you give us the impression you're cleaning it up, and I hope something will be done about that. Will come out of it, because if not, who's gonna trust the word of anybody there? Yeah.